This is a document of freedom and liberty in the United States of America. I took an oath to defend this Constitution, and gosh darn it, I better live up to that oath. These are your rights. They are not my rights. I am a defender of your rights. Now, as it relates to the Second Amendment, it has special meaning to me. And here's why. As you know, when this country was formed, this Constitution didn't apply to the slaves. But guess what? This Constitution allowed the brilliance of the Founding Fathers. This Constitution allowed for us to eventually get it right.
Bill Clinton out there saying to Black Lives Matter something that we've heard very few politicians, certainly on the left, say. How did it make you feel?
Charles, hell has frozen over. The man that the Congressional Black Caucus said was the first black president is now out parroting Sheriff David Clarke's narrative on this subversive group of renegades called Black Lives Matter. Bill told the truth, but he kind of stepped in it. I would love to be a fly on the wall the next time he and Mrs. Bill Clinton get together. She's out groveling before this group. She's out pandering to this group, trying to get their support, and then he comes along and tells the truth. But I'll tell you what right now, and I'm a little surprised at this, that the GOP or the RNC isn't already running ads just using that clip that you just played. And you don't do it in suburban areas, you do it in black areas, and you do it incessantly all the way through November. Here's what Bill Clinton thinks of Black Lives Matter.
And yet,
what I want to do, you do what you want to do. But that doesn't mean if I see you, and I don't mean you personally, if I see a man trying to become a woman, I'm going to say, man, that's some abnormal behavior.
Right.
But now you're attacked for it? No, it's abnormal behavior. Just because it's accepted today doesn't mean it's not abnormal behavior. And so some of what kept some of this in check was that shaming aspect. Society would tell you, no, dude, not here, not whatever. But I don't believe those people should be attacked. I don't believe those people should be discriminated against. But all conduct has to have boundaries. And right now, the left has made it clear that we live in a world of conduct without boundaries. Let me tell you what Frederick Douglass said about the right of self-defense. Douglass strongly supported the right of fugitive slaves to have and use weapons to resist kidnapping. When government fails to protect the just right of any individual man, that man rests on his original right of self-defense, even if it means shooting down his pursuers. Slavery is a system of brute force. It must be met with its own weapons. He went on to say that freedom was worth fighting for. Slaves plus guns equaled freedom. The abolition of slavery was inevitably due to the arming of blacks. Now, if you think for 1 minute that I'm going to cede these rights back to the federal government or any court, you better think again.
I continue to be insulted that the media continues to go to Al Sharpton as if he's some go-to guy and that you have to get by him to secure the black vote. Look, we have a kaleidoscope of views in the black community. It's small, but it's growing. I know the vote remains monolithic, but the fact is that Al Sharpton is a charlatan. He never knows what he's talking about. He does not speak for all people, and I'll tell you right now, he doesn't speak for this black man. And this black man's vote isn't going to anybody that he endorses anyway. I thought he was
Sheriff, you are
badgering
not
her
alone
toward
in
the
that
end.
view.
This has happened over thousands of years. And people have a tendency, it's part of the human condition, to gravitate toward people who look like them and act like them. That's natural. And for people to try to break that up and say, well, no, you got to have some of these people move in your neighborhood. You got to take this suburban area and put some low-income people. That is going to be a disaster, but we have to have pushback. You know this. That's one of the things that I admire about you. You push back against these things that, have become a part of the norm.
Yeah.
And someone's got to push back. Otherwise, if there's no pushback, that's how stuff goes from being fringe, marginalized, to mainstream.
We need to recognize our privilege and practice humility rather than assume our experiences are everyone else's experiences.
So, Sheriff, when you talk about the media going to Reverend Al Sharpton and then you hear from Hillary Clinton, for a lot of people in that crowd, it feels like she was pandering to them.
Well, I think it's worse than that. Her and Bernie Sanders are whoring for votes is what they're doing. Again, they think they have to go through Al Sharpton and that Action Network, whatever he has, to get the black vote. I find that insulting. I realize that that's kind of how the mechanism works. But we can slice into that by looking at the diversity of black views all across the state of New York and all across this country. Mrs. Bill Clinton knows a thing or two about privilege, sure. She sets up a secret server, potentially compromises America's secrets, and doesn't face any criminal charges. She lies about what happened in Benghazi as to what caused it, this video, and then she told the family that nothing happened. She still remains the front runner in a presidential race after all of that. That is privilege.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will fight for your rights under this document like it were my right, and it is. And I will die fighting for this document. Thank you.